Hey everybody, it's your buddy's pal Anthony. Today we're talking Batman issue 145 through 148. This is the Dark Prison story, and I'm hoping that it will wrap up the Zur-En-Arrh craziness that's been going on through the Batman books once and for all, if not for a good long while. Spoilers after the intro. Steve, roll that intro, please. Following the last set of issues where we talked about Joker Year 1, now we're back in the present day and Bruce has woken up in Zur's prison and he's sharing a cell with none other than the Joker himself, who's in a back and neck brace because, as you'll remember, Zur, while he was controlling Bruce's body, did a Bane move and broke Joker's back. Joker was telling Bruce this story the whole time, so that was what Joker Year 1 was, I guess. It was Joker filling Bruce in on what's been going on and how he was trained by one of his old mentors to segment his mind and things like that. Outside the prison, we see Zur doing Batman things, and he's actually modified the failsafe robot to look more like a bat suit, although he does seem to be incredibly tall. I guess he kept the height, and it does make him look more imposing. Zur actually encounters Red Hood while he's out, and we find out how he's gonna try to con the Bat family, at least for a little while. Zur removes his cowl, and a digital screen shows Bruce's face, and Zur is trying to tell them that he's actually Bruce, that he apologizes for all of his actions lately, but it's just that his broken body was just that. It was so broken, he was tired, things like that, and he uploaded himself into the robot so that he can continue his one-man war on crime forever. Jason naturally doesn't believe it. Zur handles him really easily. Zur swears that he won't hurt Red Hood anymore, unless, of course, he breaks the law, which is going to become a theme. Zur's whole thing is, if you didn't break the law, fine, but if you've broken even the law in the tiniest little way, your ass is mine. We see glimpses of the rest of the Bat family talking about everything that's happened, and they're actually not entirely sure that it is Bruce, but they're leaning towards it being Bruce a little bit. I'll tell you one person who completely buys into this, which is very shocking, is Damian. Damian buys into this hook, line, and sinker. He actually teams up with Zur, who he believes is his father, and they are Batman and Robin for a little bit in this storyline. In part 2 of the story, we start to see the family put it together. Nightwing and Oracle are talking with Superman and the rest of the League, and they're actually expressing their doubts that it is entirely Bruce. Nightwing says that he's been struggling with the backup personality lately, and that could have influenced his decision to put himself in the failsafe body. So they don't believe that it's totally Zur yet, but at least they're opening up to the idea that Zur is influencing him, and of course that'll lead, I'm sure eventually they're going to get to the revelation that it is Zur, and where the hell is Bruce? Now that he's free of Zur blocking out parts of his mind to protect what he was up to, Bruce is able to go back and actually see certain things that Zur had hid from him, like the creation of the failsafe robot. Robin is still buying into this 100%, which I thought he was smarter than that, but I guess at the end of the day, he's just a kid who wants to be accepted by his dad. Bruce has escaped from the prison, and his back's really up against the wall because, as he explains, as we all know, Zur inhabited his body, his mind for all these years. He knows every contingency plan he would have created and implemented, so they're all dead. He has absolutely nowhere to go. He's on the run. He actually goes back way to the beginning, just hoping that Zur won't bet on him being willing to go back this far and do these things to try to mount any sort of a defense against him. He also says maybe Zur just doesn't really think he's a threat anymore, which of course is a mistake on Zur's part if that's the case. Bruce ends up back at a cabin that his father built, and he thinks about how he took Tim and Nightwing there and how they did training in the early days. Back in the cave, Zur reveals his master plan to Robin. Zur has created a bunch of Amazo robot bodies, and he tells Damian that his plan is to upload variations of Batman from across the multiverse. And then Damian finally puts it together, saying, but if you have different personalities in your head from across the multiverse, those Batman would just be, dead, or nobody would be in control of those bodies. And then he realizes, you're Zur. You took all the other Zur personalities, and Damian tries to attack. Of course, that doesn't go well. Zur reveals that not only has he been making Amazos to upload the other Zur personalities into, he reveals that he's made his own Robin as well. Issue 147 wraps up while Batman is distracted working on some new tech to try to ultimately take down Failsafe. He hears some twigs snapping outside, and when he goes to investigate, he sees Tim Drake there. I think they really just put Tim there so that Batman could have some exposition. He explains to Tim that a lot of what he did over the past few years, all the isolation, all the way he's been treating the other members of the family, it was Zur influencing his decisions and making him alienate everybody, pushing everybody away, making him go to more and more extremes. He tells Tim that he needs the family and it's time to put Zur down. And we have a reveal of Batman in a new suit that he's built, and that's Dark Prisons 3. I will say again that the artwork and all this is great. I definitely don't mind looking at these books, but again, the story is just it's a little bit too out of hand for Batman for me. Issue 148 is due out any day on the DC app, and I'm going to devote an entire review just to that book to see how it ends and reflect back on everything that's been happening the last couple of issues. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have a minute, head over to YouTube. Over there, we have the Nerd Affiliated channel. For just $1 a month, you can join and become a member of the Nerd Affiliated Army. You'll get member exclusives, the ability to join in on our live shows, and you can even suggest topics for us to talk or do videos about. The boss does 2 live shows over on the channel. Mondays, 8 a.m.-ish, he does Nerdy Coffee. Start your week off with a nice hot cup. The boss breaks out the Excel sheets, goes over the weekend box office, as well as any other nerd news that's come out over the weekend. Thursday evenings, 8:15-ish, the boss starts to wind down the work week, pours us a drink, we have some fun in the chat. Sometimes he does an interview, sometimes he does an unboxing, sometimes he just shoots the shit with all of us. As he says, 2 different shows, 2 different vibes, both a great time. We have a website, nerdaffiliated.com. There you can find our merch store where you can get yourself or a loved one the gift of some sweet, sweet Nerd Affiliated merch. That'll do it for me. Steve, play me out of here, please.